Hello and welcome to Coffee with Carey. Chivalry isn't dead, but it has been through some things. The world is changing, and what used to be considered polite can sometimes feel outdated, awkward, or even offensive. A lot of my over 50 matchmaking and coaching clients have kind of struggled over the last few years to figure out what's still acceptable and what's going to be outdated in today's dating world. I mean, nobody wants to be embarrassed, but more so, nobody wants to offend anybody, so I get that. Just a simple door opening, that can have people questioning their ingrained behaviors. The truth is, everyone, men and women alike, still want to feel valued. If you're confused about what chivalry looks like in today's dating world, stick around, because that's what's on the agenda. So, who does hold the door? Hint. If you get there first, hold it. The old rule was that the man always held the door for the woman, no matter what. But today, chivalry is about shared kindness, not gender roles. If you're the first one to reach the door, you hold it open. It doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman, it's just a considerate thing to do. On a personal note, in the last couple of years of my dad's life, he struggled to walk on his own. He had a walker. And I was always so grateful. Oh, yes. I was grateful and I was always so grateful and often surprised by people who would stand there with the utmost patience waiting for my dad to walk through those doors. He was always really witty and appreciative, but even teenagers would stand there and hold the door with impressive patience, and it would warm my heart. So no, it's not about male and female. It's about being kind. Sorry about that. I miss my dad. If someone holds the door for you, smile. Say thank you. Don't overthink it or feel weird. Don't rush ahead awkwardly just to beat them to the door. If you both get there at the same time, offer a little after you. Let them pass first. The goal is to create an easy moment of connection, not an awkward power struggle. The second thing that's confusing people is who pays the bill. You can make it a conversation, not a power play. Paying for dates used to be straightforward. Men paid, period. Then for a while it became more complicated and a huge topic of conversation of anyone who was back out there dating after a period away. Today, expectations are, of course, flexible, but pretty simple, since you likely have one of two options available to you. The new rule? Whoever invited the other person should offer to pay and expect to pay. If you want to split the bill, offer it, but also be gracious if the other person genuinely wants to treat you. Your dating life might be different, but with my clients, 9 out of 10 times, it's the man who asks for the date, so this keeps it pretty simple. However, I always encourage my clients, my male clients, to pay for the dates. I think it's generous and kind and masculine, actually. I don't like the optics of letting a woman pay for a first date, and I don't like the optics of a woman being put on the spot, especially if she wasn't the one who asked for the date. As a man, if you can't afford to take a woman out on a date, then don't ask. But also, there's nothing wrong with a date that costs the price of a cup of coffee for a walk, or it's something that's absolutely free. So there's really no excuse for not paying. And if this is a person you are interested in seeing again, feel free to clue them into the fact that you're not going to be picking up the cost of every date from here till the end of time by, say something casual and friendly like, how about I get this one and you grab the next? That keeps things light and shows that you're open to sharing in the future. And as a woman, you should be kind and generous also on future dates. Small gestures still matter, but make them thoughtful, not obligatory. Modern chivalry isn't about flashy old school moves like laying your coat over a puddle. Instead, it's about showing care, pulling out a chair, offering your jacket, or walking your date to their car are still great gestures, but only if they're natural and they don't feel forced. For instance, I'm always surprised when walking down a sidewalk to suddenly notice that I'm on the inside. My man, as always, is always blocking me from the street. I never see it happen, but it never fails to happen. Am I doing this because I care or because I feel I have to? This is probably what I'd ask myself before a big chivalrous move. If it's coming from a genuine place, go for it. But if you're unsure how your gesture is going to be received, maybe you can just ask. You could say, would you like me to walk you to your car, or can I carry that for you? This way you're showing that you care without making assumptions. Modern chivalry is about intent. It's less about following old rules and more about finding ways to make the other person feel cared for in small but meaningful ways. By the way, compliments still in style when they're authentic. Compliments can feel tricky these days, I know, but they don't have to. The key is to be thoughtful and specific. Just saying something you don't believe because you think it's nice is never going to work in your favor. Complimenting looks is fine, just don't overdo it. If you've already seen us dressed up for the evening and commented a couple times, you look beautiful, or wow, you look great tonight. The next hour shouldn't be filled with more comments about the way we look. That's just too much. Perhaps hours later, if the thought really crosses your mind, naturally you can say something sweet again. I had a great time tonight, and I felt super lucky to have the most beautiful woman with me. Or you were amazing on the dance floor. Or you were so nice to so-and-so's girlfriend. I really admire how you always seem to be comfortable talking to strangers or people you don't know. The key here is to not make it all about looks. But if you do mention them and can include something else that you admire, go on and do that with it. And also remember to be mindful of timing. Compliments land best when they feel natural, not rehearsed. So don't force it. Say it when it feels right. And chivalry goes both ways. It's a two-way street. In the old days, men were expected to be the only ones making romantic gestures. Well, not anymore. Modern relationships thrive when both people put in effort. If your partner usually pays for brunch, offering to grab that check every once in a while, try that. It's definitely not about keeping track of who does what or keeping count. It's about both people prioritizing the relationship and making the effort. Thoughtfulness goes both ways, so look for opportunities to step up, even with small things like grabbing coffee or checking in during a busy week. Chivalry isn't about one person doing all the heavy lifting, it's about mutual care. And relationships always work best when both people feel appreciated. Number 6 is about boundaries, and it's best to ask instead of assuming things. Some traditional gestures like walking somebody to their car or their front door can feel intrusive to some people today. So my rule for clients is to ask. I mean, I love that. And I always want my guys to make sure a woman gets safely to her car if they're out in city streets or a public place. But it doesn't hurt to ask. What's the harm? Asking instead of assuming is your best bet because truly some people love these gestures while others feel they're forward or it makes them uncomfortable. You can just simply say, would you like me to walk you to your car? Instead of just doing it. Or, I'd like to walk you to your car. Would that be okay? Offer to help with things like bags, but be okay if they say no. Hey, can I carry that for you? It shows you care without assuming that they need help. So it's really just common sense when you think about it. It's all the things that men have always done before, but now you just need to check in with the other person because you're aware that they're probably capable and that you're doing this as a gift of generosity of spirit, not because they're the weaker sex. Kindness is the new chivalry. At its heart, chivalry today is really just kindness in action. It's not about flashy gestures or outdated rules. It's about showing up for each other in ways that matter. If you simply focus on making the other person's day, their week, their life a little easier, you can't go wrong. If you're looking for opportunities to be thoughtful, hey, I know you've had a long day. How about I bring dinner over? Or, I saw this and I thought you'd like it. Or, I know you have to work on Tuesday. Would you want me to take the dog to the groomer? Or, what do you think about me grabbing some flowers for your mom on my way home today? These little gestures show that you're paying attention, and that's the kind of modern chivalry that anybody would appreciate. So it's not dead. It's just evolved. It's no longer about roles of sex or outdated rules, but it's about mutual kindness. Whether that means holding the door, paying for dinner. The goal is to show up for each other in ways that are appreciated by the other person. If you found this helpful, I'm thinking you might also enjoy this episode. It's about rules you should not have to follow any longer. And also, before you go, if you could give my mom a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, also hit that subscribe button. Hit it like it owes you money. Go ahead, give it a good tap and show it you mean business. I'll look forward to seeing you back here soon. And until next time, have a good one.